Hi LEGO fans, it's Steven Schleicher, and this week we are taking a look at another DC LEGO superhero set. Of course, it's Batman, and it's set 76055. It's the Killer Croc smash-up, and it features one of the weirdest villain team-ups that I've ever seen. Let's build it and talk about it on the other side. Set 76055, it's Batman's Killer Croc Sewer Smash. It's a lot to say, and there's a lot in this set. Let's start with the minifigures, because this has the weirdest villain duo I have ever seen in my life. But let's start with the villains with Killer Croc. Oh my gosh, this is a nice maxi figure of Killer Croc. It follows the same maxi figure format that we've seen in Abomination and Hulk and Gorilla Grodd and all the various sets. So the feet are in the same place, but it's the sculpt up above that really sets the maxi figure apart from everything else. So here we have Killer Croc. The face is a little weird, I think, because it's flattened off, but I think that's just because this is this interpretation of Killer Croc. And as we've seen over the years, Killer Croc has taken on a number of different styles, which is probably why this maxi figure does not have a tail, which is probably a good thing in the end. Hey, it's everybody's favorite Flash villain, Captain Boomerang. Flash villain in a Batman set. Go figure. Here we have a Captain Boomerang in his little blue beanie, which I kind of always dig the blue beanie, but his outfit is lacking a little bit more blue than I normally like in my Captain Boomerang. And it's a nice paint, I suppose. They certainly have his scarf and his little daggers that he keeps there on his bandolier. But otherwise, I kind of was hoping for a little bit more blue in Captain Boomerang. I do like the way that LEGO has sculpted these boomerangs so that they fit in the minifigure hands without just popping off. I think that is a nice touch. It's a little weird, don't you think, that we get Killer Croc and Captain Boomerang teaming up as villains in this set? It's the oddest combination when you think about it, because as I mentioned, Captain Boomerang is more of a Flash villain and Killer Croc, of course, is a Batman villain. So why is he showing up in this set? Well, we just had a movie released called Suicide Squad, right? That is based around a bunch of bad guys from the DC universe. But I think that's kind of a bad message for LEGO and DC to put together a set that's called the Suicide Squad, because it just makes it a bad message to kids, right? So instead what they've done is, over the course of the last, I want to say maybe 6 months or so, all of the sets that they've released have featured characters from the Suicide Squad, right? I mean, Captain Boomerang, Killer Croc, Katana that we'll see here in just a moment, Deathstroke, Harley Quinn, the Joker. They're all there if you want to get them. Now, they're not going to be in a single set, so you can go out and online and buy this minifigure for anywhere from $15 to $45, depending on, you know, who's selling it and how much you're willing to pay. Or you can go out and get all of the LEGO sets that have been reviewed lately from the DC LEGO line, and you're going to get all of those characters in your set, and you can create your own Suicide Squad that way. It's an interesting way around a difficult kind of tie-in, especially for LEGO and DC. But I think as they've done it over the last couple of sets, and if you're just buying all the DC sets anyway, you're going to have these. So I think it's a nice solution to a difficult problem. But it makes for an odd combination in this set. We do have heroes in this set. As I mentioned, it's Katana. Let's take a look at her. A little bit different hairstyle than what we've seen before, but for those of you who have read Katana in the comics, you know that this is right in line with her look. She does have her samurai sword so that she can take out the bad guys and capture their souls inside the sword. It's a nice paint. It's a nice job overall. We also have Batman. Of course, it's a Batman set. You can't have Batman without Batman. It's a gray suit instead of a silver suit, and we have silver batarangs instead of black batarangs, but that all works, and it's Batman. So enjoy yourself. The final minifigure that we have in this set is the Red Hood. Oh my gosh, if I hated Damian Wayne before, the Red Hood is right up there next to him. If you don't know who the Red Hood is, he has his origins in comic books. This Red Hood is actually Jason Todd, the second Robin to accompany Batman in the comics. Now, in the comics, Jason Todd was not a good guy. He actually pushed a villain off a side of a building and killed him, which set him off as kind of a bad boy in the 80s, and a lot of people were not big fans of Jason Todd as Robin. So DC came up with this brilliant solution. Let's have the Joker kidnap Robin and beat him up with a crowbar, put a bunch of dynamite and explosives around him, and then have the readers call into a 900 number and choose Jason Todd's fate. Will he live? Will he die? Oh, of course you know what the readers were going for. Let's kill Jason Todd. And sure enough, Jason Todd died in the pages of A Death in the Family way back in the late 80s. For years, Jason Todd stayed dead, replaced by Tim Drake, the best Robin in the world. That's right, I said it, the best Robin in the world. But you can't keep characters dead in comics for very long, and soon we had this saga of the Red Hood in which it was revealed that Jason Todd was indeed back from the dead. Was he a good guy? Was he a bad guy? If you're looking for anti-heroes in your DC Lego superhero sets, then here you have it with the Red Hood. He's not really one of Batman's favorites, but he does what he needs to do. And if you're looking for a Red Hood and the Outlaws set, you've already got a Starfire, and I'm sure you can find a Red Hood or a Red Arrow figure somewhere. So there you go with that. So those are the minifigures and the maxi figures in this set. Some good guys, some bad guys, some guys that are kind of in between. We really don't know. But let's take a look at the vehicles. The vehicles in this set are really kind of odd, in my opinion. First up, here's Killer Croc's sewer device, which in itself is really weird because it's got enough space for Killer Croc to stand on. It's got this feature that is neat that as you roll it, there's a little lever that causes the jaws to open and close so it can, like scare some people that way. There is a tail on the back, and if you look at the control panel on the vehicle, it says that you can either have the jaws open and close or you can have the tail thrash around, but the tail really doesn't do anything. I suppose you could use it as the means that you're pushing this vehicle along the floor or on your tabletop, but it fits in the theme of alligator, but overall it's just kind of plain. Attached to this vehicle is a perch for Captain Boomerang to sit. This thing's supposed to drive through the sewers, and with these big wheels, a lot of sewer stuff is going to splash up on people. Maybe that's why Captain Boomerang's seat is so high up, but he is right above the wheel, so I think he's going to get a lot of splashback anyway. It's an odd place, and again, if you've got a green Killer Croc themed vehicle, this blue perch seems really out of place. And if you don't want that perch to be on there, if you think this is an odd team up, of course you can always pop that perch right off and you can run around with just Killer Croc doing his thing. It's an interesting vehicle. I don't know how practical it is, but it certainly from the front looks very scary and will frighten off a number of people, which is why we need Batman to come and save the day. And the vehicle in this one, holy cow, look how big this Bat vehicle is. Overcompensation much, Batman? This vehicle reminds me a lot of the Bat tank that we see in the Dark Knight Returns comic book written by Frank Miller. It's got the big treads all over the place, the big tank treads. It's got a giant machine gun in the front that fires rubber studs, I promise. It fires studs, and it's even got a tank top that you flip open to put Batman in and out. So that's why it feels like the tank that we've seen in the Dark Knight Returns. It's pretty cool, I'll tell you that. There are a couple problems though. The first is that as I push this along, the tank treads on the back, because there's enough weight on the vehicle, the treads do move. But for the life of me, on a tabletop, I could never get the front treads to move. Perhaps if you run it on a carpet or something that may be a little thicker or have some kind of a grippy surface, these front treads will move. But for all the hassle of putting these together, man, it certainly was a disappointment that it didn't turn as easily as it did. So with this giant Bat vehicle, what good is it? Why couldn't we just have a bunch of other Bat vehicles in this set besides this one? Well, this one is called the Killer Croc Sewer Smash, and if you're going to stop Killer Croc, you're going to have to smash him, and smash him good, right, Batman? Which is where the cool feature of this vehicle comes into play. You turn the engine on the back, and the front end flips around to turn into a battering ram. Get it? Battering ram? The battering ram then can be used to smash Killer Croc and hold him in place until the proper authorities arrive. It's a really neat feature on this piece, and the battering even looks kind of like a bat signal. It's an overall nice little piece, but it seems rather large overall. What else about this set that I could say? Well, it's a nice collection, and if you're trying to get specific figures and you don't want to go pay $15 to $40 a piece, because if you were to just get Killer Croc, Captain Boomerang, Red Hood, and Katana, if you were to buy those as individual figures, you're probably going to pay as much, if not more, than what this set would normally retail for. So you might as well just buy the whole set and get a really kind of fun Jaws opening and closing Killer Croc machine, and if you're trying to create your own Jim Lee Bat Cave, you now have yet another Bat vehicle to add to it. So overall, this is a fun little set. I think kids will have a lot of time, a lot of fun smashing these vehicles into each other and then having you rebuild them for them or them building them themselves. I really like the battering ram feature on the Bat vehicle. I love that we have a Captain Boomerang and a Katana in this set. Even Killer Croc. I like the maxi figures. Red Hood, not so much favorite of mine, but hey, let's throw in some anti-heroes just to round it all off. It's set 76055. I give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, use the comments section below. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to this channel so that you know when all of the new videos are released. And there's a lot of videos that we've been doing over the years, so you probably missed some really good ones. You can also follow me on Twitter at Major Spoilers if I didn't mention it before. Our website is majorspoilers.com, and we could really use your help in creating more of these videos. If you'd like to help us out, we do have a Patreon page at patreon.com/majorspoilers. Lots of good information over there and a bunch of extras as well. Patreon.com/majorspoilers. And until the next time when we have Killer Croc try to smash and bite his way into this Batmobile, take care.